discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BGUnlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for War of the Worlds. A new wave. Devin, what do you think?
You know, I was just blown away by this innovative game. It's truly a work of art in its balancing mechanics, and it's, you know, two very unique factions. And it's a desperate struggle. Truly articulating the human condition and how, when cornered, we become absolute sniveling cowards and die like animals screaming in a pig farm.
We kill you like fucking PETA kills their rescues.
Yep. This corners us, poisons us. It was arduous. I just felt like I was running the whole time, and I thought that maybe when I was down to a fewer units, it would like kind of come together a little more, and I'd be like, okay, now, I'm scattered, and it's harder for him to... No, I didn't get the good cards. I can only... Apparently stacking the army cards in hopes so that your tanks would actually do something.
Yeah.
But if you have multiples, then you can't fucking spawn another, apparently. Which was my biggest peeve. That I couldn't put more units on the board.
Yeah, it looks like for some reason the only way you can get more units on the board, per this rulebook, if there's an errata, there already needs to be because it has fucking typos all throughout it. It specifically says you cannot, if you don't have a unit on the board, you can't spawn another one. Yep.
I did some damage to you, but it was like, you can only depend on your guerrillas for so long. I mean, that was like the only way I was dealing damage early game, was just playing little counter cards, and at that point I needed to clean up my deck, for some better cards, so that I'd get those more often, like my airstrike for dependable damage. So I thought cycling them out would not be a bad idea, and with your adjacent attacks, it was not. There's numerous cards, but not just,
Yep, I don't get it. I do not get this game. A lot of games that are 1v1, depict both, one side as obviously overpowered, but it's balanced. A good example of this game called Stronghold, where the attacking unit has an unlimited number of people that they can spawn, and the defending unit has a few people that when they die, they die. But that game is balanced. It's one of those things where the more I do, the more you get to do, and vice versa. So this game is so bad, and the problem is it's not bad mechanically, I don't think. I think the bones are there for this game. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terribly difficult to learn. The cards are very straightforward. I actually like the idea of having multiple options on the card. I like the idea of you have to get rid of some to get the really powerful ability on it. So you have that hand management for what it's worth. But because there are just, the biggest thing, yes, is the fact that according to the rules, you have to buy a unit card to bring it out onto the board.
And it's so fucking easy for you to
wipe
them.
They're all
they take the damage first, and you do adjacency.
Yep. Well, buildings, then units, then civilians.
Maybe I should have done more turtling. Maybe that's what it more...
That thematically probably is what you would have to do anyway. You wouldn't be able to fight these monstrosities. So, yeah, maybe more turtling, putting buildings in with defenses. Then I'd have to burn a bunch of cards. That seems to be the best strategy, which comes to another point that I have about this game that's actually a huge negative, is if that's the way to play, that's the only way to play. So it's like this game has zero replay value. We barely went through the purchase. I mean, you went through way more than I did, just because you had to. You had to keep buying units, and you had to keep, keep discarding the cards to get them out. And
you only had one tripod.
Yep.
You didn't have to pull out. You didn't have to pull out the big guns. You didn't have to pull out the second UFO.
Nope.
A third tripod.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope. In fact, it would make sense. There is a tripod card here. And actually, yeah, and then there's 2 tripod cards and 1 UFO card, obviously, to bring out my units, because they can't be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once they're out, which is another terrible thing. The tripod card in here costs 6. That's not that expensive. Like, I was pulling 6 like it was nothing, so once these things are out, you're fucking it's hopeless. Like, that's ridiculous.
I mean, granted, it's other avenues to deal damage to you, but...
Right.
I mean, I guess that's a balancing mechanic. The more you have out, the more targets I have. But
that's true. Yeah.
But
it never happened. And you can't even attack.
I can't attack it. Yeah, that's obnoxious.
So it's just like, just boom, 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 dead.
I guess,
boom, did it.
Yeah, I should have turtled or something like that. I'm trying to give it, some chance to just think maybe I just played wrong.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cards with heavy artillery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of things that you get to bunker down and get a lot of money. Once my things were destroyed, I was kind of out of it, because I already had spent all my big ones to buy stuff.
Mm.
So I couldn't, I wasn't generating any energy, so I couldn't buy any more cards, even if I wanted to. But at that point, I already had, everything that I needed. Just a damage in a land region adjacent to a tripod unit, okay, but I guess I'll just start killing off the civilians. I mean, and if we really think about it, even though it felt completely hopeless against you this entire game, you got to 22.
Yeah,
I
know.
That's 8 damage away from
right,
winning.
but it just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know that's the whole damn point, but it just wasn't super fun. And you're wiping things off the board. I'm building this little tracker.
Yeah.
I'm hurting you.
Yeah. It's definitely, it was a lot more fun for me just to move around the board and then just ping you and just actually physically remove something versus the tracker going up or something. For some reason, I feel like it'd be better if you were going down. Like, from 30 to 0. It would feel a little bit better than going up to 30. I don't know. And the other thing that I don't like is the game will always start off the same. Like, my units will always start up there. Your units will always start in these regions. The cards, the starting cards will always be the same. The variety that comes with the game is what comes out. And you didn't get army units till I had already killed at least 10 people. So it's like, okay, well, I don't even have a chance to try and deal damage to you till later on. So the fact that these are completely random is just, it's ridiculous. At least in my opinion. I don't like strategy games where all your strategy is based off of certain cards coming out at a specific point in time. Yeah,
I mean, it was like a lot of my, my cash, the things that bring in cash, where it's like, oh, you can have cash, or you can move some dudes. What's more precious to you? And
hell, I never even got my innovations out, or they were called. The only card I had that did that, which I never used it for, was Toxic Territory, which is place a toxic territory in a spot containing a UFO. This region is considered hostile and deals 1 damage during the alien player's turn. So now that's just there, and boom, now it's just dealing damage, which obviously you can avoid it, but for areas like, oh wait, I couldn't go into that area that prevented the UFO because I couldn't move in there. So it had to be a region containing a UFO. So I was like, well, damn, so that's not even useful. A lot of cards in here that was like, move a human or its buildings can't be used this turn, never even happened probably because you didn't turtle. And my nerve agent always dealt 1 damage or something, so I just killed him, therefore the effect never went off. I guarantee you the way to play this game is to have the humans turtle. Turtle until you build up your army, and then you go out. And if that's the case, that's fine, that's boring. Ultimately, don't get me wrong, I was only having fun because I knew you weren't having a good time, and I'm like, this game is just so broken, and it wasn't fun for me. In fact, the game took an hour. The box says takes 45 minutes, which I guess 45 minutes before the alien player obliterates the humans.
I mean,
like I'm trying because here's the thing, the theme, which I bought this game for completely. I was like, oh, War of the Worlds. That's always an interesting idea, and it's 2 players. That sounds cool. I bought it on a whim, and I knew the company, Gray Fox Games, which they actually have 2 other Kickstarters out right now. So they've just been going Kickstarter crazy, like save our company. And I mean, you've played another game of theirs that you actually bought for me, London Dread, which was the app-driven one. And I feel like a lot of their games are good ideas, but they don't know how to put it into practice. Like, I can see a lot of other companies coming up with a 2-player game with this setting and making it solid, but I don't know what the fix is. Because I can't say, well, reduce the alien's health from 30 to 20, because you clearly got past that. You got past... I mean, they tried to balance it, because this also includes the expansion, the Irish Sea, which I think includes the ships and this whole other area, which only benefits you.
Right.
Like, this whole area only benefits you. So, which could be another region. Hey, move over there and then turtle up over there.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe base game by giving me a fewer options. Maybe so I could have more sound strategy. I don't know. Maybe I was too scattered. It's like, I mean, like...
And with the alien player starting first, it's just like, I'm going to kill some of your...
It's like, I know that's how they designed it. They wanted the alien to have like a good, strong lead, and then the humans have to kind of rally, just like in the book, just like in the movies. Just, oh, fuck, they're fucking us up. Okay, we build up, and now we're ready, and now we can take it to them.
Destroy them.
And you're supposed to depend on your guerrilla cards up until you can build up enough. But
because if we think about it, if you had 2 armies, two tank units out, then you could have done 4 damage, and that's a lot.
Right.
Like whenever you played both of them, I was like, oh shit, like that's 4. But then I was like, oh, you cannot activate the same units.
I mean, I could have tossed the card for 3.
Exactly. So then you could toss both of them for 6.
I mean, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, then that puts it from 22 to 28. And then it's like, oh, okay. So it's weird because it feels completely unbalanced, but you were eight points away. But each time you brought a unit out, it was destroyed.
I mean, I didn't like the unit mechanics. I didn't like how just at.
And maybe it's just one of those things, like we keep saying, if you had your fortress out and then you spawned your army tokens in there.
Yeah.
Like then you sweep them out. Like that probably was the strategy.
Yeah.
Fortress, because it didn't say anything about you can't spawn multiple units in the same spot. Just buildings can't be in the same spot. So.
Yeah, I guess you pick a corner of the board, place a bunch of buildings, and then just kind of fan out from there from what survivors managed to get down there.
Right. Which you had a lot of evacuation.
It's just like I'm trying not to hate on their game because it didn't go well for me.
Right.
But still, at the same time, it's like I mean you didn't have to work too hard.
No.
You didn't have to build any extra units and like. And then it's a tracker. Great, that's fun.
Yeah, and then I was thinking well maybe because since it is only 1 unit and 1 unit, you have the whole map to yourself. So I was like, okay, well that sounds fair because that means I have to move around a lot more to get to your people. So yeah, less units means it takes me longer to get there depending on my card draws. And then by that point, it's like, oh, so that seems to be it entices me to want to bring more people out because now I have more people to move around and kill, which therefore, like you said, would be more units to actually attack. So it's just a strategy on my end to just never bring these guys out. Or, I mean, how much is the UFO card? It is 7. Yeah, so...
You know what my 7 card lets me do?
Bring a ship out?
Well, yeah, it's like, no. I can, it lets me draw 1 card from the supply. So I get an extra card per hand if I use its basic replay ability. Or I can toss it for a single civilian token.
Oh.
Remove it from the game.
Yeah, for 1 unit.
1 guy.
I mean, that's the thing.
We're not gonna lose.
That's the thing, is, what's your 8 do?
The tank factory. That will actually increase the defense of my tanks. but it costs
Gotcha.
8.
Yeah, my
And
8
it's-
was Regenerator. Once per turn, I can spend 4 to lower the alien damage track by 1. And that's a building, so it's
Yeah.
like you can just come in and destroy that, because
Mhm.
you could have destroyed my building a long time ago.
Mhm.
Like, just 1 damage destroys my buildings just as much as yours.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like,
Oh, I
oh
wasn't.
wait, maybe not. No, attacking my buildings dealt damage to, well, no, wait. No, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure. I thought you could destroy my building.
I just thought I couldn't destroy anything of yours without special text.
That might be true. I might just be having a stroke. Maybe it was just destroying yours. For each damage dealt to an alien unit or building, advance the alien damage marker 1 point on the. So you can attack my building because it doesn't destroy them. So I guess that's other ways. The more buildings I build, that also gives you more avenues to deal damage. Yeah, I remember saying that. I just thought you were like, it's not worth it. So yeah, that's my Regenerator. My 10 is tripod units attack powers increased by 1. So that's another building. But the problem is I built upwards, and instead of going down, which when you build your fortress there, you actually stopped me from building. Because you can't go in adjacent, you can't skip him, and since I have to build adjacent from my own. So that was a nice strategy, because once I got rid of your fortress and once you got rid of my 2 production, I was like, I can build more. And then I didn't have the units, I didn't have the cards to be able to purchase anymore. So I mean, they have the bones here to make it a really great game, but even then, even if we did your strategy of hunker down, that doesn't sound fun, like at least in my book. So I don't know. Got anything else?
I mean, I'm just trying not to be a salty player here. And trying to be, impartial. But, I mean...
Because the thing is like, I can activate multiple cards that affect my units, because they're action cards. They're not unit cards. So, now granted, if I had 2 UFOs, I couldn't be like, UFO, and like move them twice and move the same one twice. I would have had to spread them out, but by that point, yeah, everything else was an action card. Just like for example, if I moved him and I had 2 Scorching Beams, I could do that twice and just kill 4 things or do 4 damage.
But, I mean, you can't activate him twice, though, right?
But I'm not activating him, I'm playing an action card. The activation of a unit is playing the unit's activation card. So...
Gotcha.
So that's that. Then there's all these other infrastructure tokens that could have been placed. Freezer. During the human player's next turn, they cannot move units or civilians out of sight. Let's see. Wall token in a region with an alien buildings. Humans may not attack buildings in this region. Let's see. Oh, orbital strike. Deal 3 damage in any region.
Oh, cool.
More walls. Alien abduction. Destroy 1 civilian token in a region with a UFO, even if it's protected. Move any 1 UFO unit to an adjacent region. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. What the hell are all these? Oh, those were walls. Oh, those were frightening sounds. Yeah. Those are poisonous fog. Yep, so yeah, I mean, that's that. Oh, I know why. So these were supposed to be placed there just to show that.
Stop.
In the
Hammer time.
name of love. But yeah, that's. I mean, I don't really have anything else. I guarantee you. Before we even played this game, I was like, I guarantee you they made that expansion because it's unbalanced, and it definitely feels like that's because it only helps you. The hardest skill 1 to 10.
I mean, I don't know how many of these, like, 1v1s I played. I remember we played was that Star Wars game?
Oh yeah, Star Wars Rebellion.
Yeah. I mean, that one...
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That one was actually really good, but once you played it a lot, it was going to kind of play out the same way each time, so
Yeah.
I got bored with it. I played Strongholds, like I mentioned. That one's a solid 1v1. And besides actual card games, like Voliferon, which is 1v1 or something, this isn't the best.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I'm gonna give it a 5.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's an average game. It's like it's not memorable. It doesn't do anything well. Like, it does your standard deck building. It does your standard hand management, which I still like. Like, I like the fact that it gets removed from the game and you have to make that decision. But none of the decisions are ever really exciting. You're just kind of going through the motions. The area, it's not even area control. Like, because you don't need to control areas. Except these for some reason. I guess you kind of do once your buildings are there, but they're just there. Like, none of the actions I did were particularly fun.
I mean, maybe if I understood how your class worked a little better, like how your deck was going to run, and then I can kind of premeditate what...
But the only way you could ever do that is at the beginning of the game. Because once I start building, then it's like, okay, well, now I lost track of what he had in his hand or in his deck. So initially, yeah, that would work. But even then, we're kind of going to do the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't feel like any of my look and see what you've got cards were really worth it. I'm like...
Yeah, I remember I had like one of those. Oh, I didn't have it, but I remember seeing
one. He's going to move and then he's going to kill. Move and kill.
Yeah.
Move and kill.
Yep.
Gain energy. Move and kill.
Spider, look at your opponent's hand. Or remove one random card in your opponent's discard pile from the game. And that's a one-time use, and that costs 5, and I think there's only one of those in the whole deck. I think the artwork is cool.
Yeah.
I like the artwork.
Yeah. It's good. The mat's good.
The mat is really good. But yeah, I mean, I
like little buildings, the little slots in there to say what it is.
That is nice.
Kind of cute.
Now that's Kickstarter. These are all Kickstarter. So that's that. Like, all the plastic stuff is Kickstarter. Everything else would have been standees.
Oh, these have been standees? Ooh.
Yeah. And then obviously would have been a regular board. This is Kickstarter. So, because I was like, sure, why not? I'll buy that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, I'll give it a 5 too. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. I haven't played too many of these games, but I mean, it was alright. I mean,
short?
Yeah, it was short. It was kind of frustrating. I mean, I don't like not being able to destroy units.
Right.
I mean, just hitting a tracker and running away, but, I mean, thematic.
I guess, but I've always said theme doesn't always make good game mechanics.
Right.
So that's it, everyone.
Yeah.
That's our thoughts on War of the Worlds: The New Wave. I hope you enjoyed. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.